Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast. Me, host Imperial Dane, featuring today a 1 versus 1 on Minsk Pocket. Yes, indeed, in the pocket of Minsk, we shall be watching Ccarts03 fighting for the Soviet Union for the 374th Rifle Division, going up against Siberian of the Siberian Panzer Division Herman Goering. We are right away spotting across the infantry company going up. Grenadiers on the way. So no two pioneer starts for Mr. Siberian. And Ccarts getting his first squad of conscripts, of course, rather right away as well. No largely huge surprises there. Already on the move.
A new unit has arrived.
And there we go, the Grenadiers arrive. Both players so far looking to be heading towards their nearest victory point. With their engineer or pioneer unit, likely the combat troops will actually be going towards the fuel point. Second squad of Grenadiers on the way for Siberian. Point secure there, point secure there.
How can we help?
All a bit quiet. Nothing hugely going on. The Herman Goering Panzer Division, or Panzer Division Hermann Goering, was a division with actually a long history. Was largely subservient to Hermann Goering, had initially been a police battalion, then a flak unit, then largely grew and grew, became a Panzer Grenadier Division, fought in North Africa, was pulled out, reformed, fought in Sicily, then Italy, then was moved on to the Eastern Front, was formed up as a full Panzer Division, actually did that in Italy, and then finally was expanded into a full Panzer Corps on the Eastern Front, where it received then another Panzer Grenadier Division, or the Siberian Panzer Grenadier Division Hermann Goering 2. Since for some reason they figured just adding a number would sort it out. Third squad of Grenadiers on the way. We are seeing a third squad of conscripts on the way as well from Ccarts. Both players going rather heavy on the infantry for the time being. Feeling infantry. Grenadiers versus conscripts, and already there Yuri goes down. Then Boris, a factory worker from somewhere outside Stalingrad, and conscripts again, the pioneers up here on this right hand side. The Grenadiers though continuing on, looks like he has had an idea to go straight for Ccarts' fuel point. MG42 arriving, or at least coming in there for Siberian, while the pioneers are suffering brutally to the conscripts. There we go, fighting for the fuel point. Ccarts rushing in with the conscripts. And there we go, lobbing Molotovs. Grenadiers though quick to move away, and the only ones catching on fire are the conscripts. Oh dear, Boris. That did not work out well. Pioneers somehow managed to get out of that one alive. And already here we're seeing an awfully extended front, very narrow, whereas we're seeing Ccarts expanding on the flanks. That could actually prove to be a problem. And Siberian just continues, going to cut off the entire left-hand side by the looks of it. MG42 ready. Small engagement, small engagement. Another Molotov. Grenadiers here, though, behind themselves a bit outnumbered, and there we go, another Molotov. And looks like another poor Soviet infantryman caught on fire.
We have secured the sector.
Quite unfortunate, I suppose. And another Grenadier squad, so a pretty infantry heavy start here from Siberian. In fact, a pretty heavy tier 1 medic upgrade there for Ccarts. And it's the 374th Rifle Division. Still 3 squads of conscripts, though he's been pouring a lot of resources into upgrades as of late.
It is ours. Enemy troops attacking! Our forces increase. The enemy is attempting.
And there we go. Ccarts back to trying to regain some territory while securing the entire right hand side. But full Grenadier squad and an MG42, very heavy tier 1, quite solid infantry composition, and currently, well, in fact, oh never mind, looks like he's got himself another squad of conscripts as well, so that's 4 squads of conscripts versus 4 Grenadiers and an MG42. This would certainly not be a bad timing if CCRs was to go for something additional to try and catch the fascists a bit off guard. You could certainly take advantage of that to, for example, rush for a scout car, sniper, penal troops or Maxims, whatever.
We have been granted access to superior.
And there we go, Molotov using true sight there to hide behind the bushes and then lob over. Going for the fuel point again, MG42 not quite able to cover, a bit unfortunate. Another Molotov, though this time he actually ends up lobbing it on his own men, which is generally not where you want to be throwing it. Just saying.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Consider additional bit of advice. And there you go, the MG4 advances a bit closer to the front. Plenty of munitions for Siberian if he so desires. Another Molotov. And again a couple of Soviets catching on fire. I mean, Siberian really doesn't seem to have much high thoughts about his own men with the way he gets them killed by his own Molotovs. But I thought the cocktail meant they could drink it. Oh, I am so silly. There we go, again the Molotov, this time actually on the enemy.
Infantry HQ has been upgraded. Medium armor, enemy is
I wonder if it actually kills as friendly as killed. Nope. Conscripts rushing straight in and a Molotov. And again lighting his own men on fire. Hazardous work. And the Soviet army. Still retraining only 4 squads. Now we're seeing a 5th squad of conscripts. That's rather interesting. It rather feels like I'm getting the impression he actually must be floating a lot of manpower at the moment. No, mind other resources. 5 squads of conscripts is definitely. Oh, and we also see here that Siberian actually lost a squad of grenadiers, and at the same time he's getting the MG42 upgrade.
taking Soviet fire. Our lines of supply are disrupted.
Trying to close in as close to the conscripts as possible so they can't quite as easily lob. And there we go, the MG42 tearing into them, and Molotov and lands up anyways. Several grenadiers catch on fire. And an additional Pioneer Squad. We're also seeing some pretty heavy taking up going on there.
We have taken it.
Rather disparate though. CCRs continues to just push for flanking, for harassment, cutting off resources, cutting off fuel, cutting off whatever he so damn likes.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
It's definitely causing a bit of a headache, I imagine, for Siberian. Well, with 5 squads of conscripts running about now, and he's lost himself a squad of grenadiers.
They're trying to burn us.
That's certainly going to increase the pressure further on the remaining squads. Although I imagine he's going to rush for some armor to try and sort that out in a slightly more permanent fashion. And interesting enough, Siberian hasn't, CCRs hasn't gotten any additional buildings. Just conscripts. Not even guards, infantry, or shock troops to support. And there we go, in fact we see that Siberian has been cut off from all of its resources. Siberian actually having trouble maintaining a front line. And apparently not even deciding to have one, which allows CCRs to go more aggressively for the flanks and for the valuable points, thus cutting off him from the resources. Cheeky work, that's for sure.
We are losing a sector.
In that case, Siberian rather needs to sort of get around to actually fortifying the front line and deciding where to stand and fight. And a 6th squad of conscripts. This is definitely not what I'm used to seeing. This is a very heavy conscript strategy. A conscript heavy strategy. We would certainly consider buffing it up with either guards while combined arms or conscript support, I suppose. Though he might be relying on doctrine to provide something else instead, using the conscript to provide, well, pretty much the entire backbone of his army and then getting something big on top. But there we go, using pretty much only conscripts. CCRs is actually dominating largely this map, which rather says something about conscripts if they're actually in the hands of a well-handled commander. as they are quite powerful, in particular on a map like this where you can easily also more easily sneak in Molotovs from all sorts of angles, and it would certainly not be a bad idea perhaps for Siberian to consider another light machine gun. He's going to need all of the firepower he can muster at these ranges. There we go, time to pop over to CCR. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squads of conscripts. I missed one? Good lord. 7 squads of conscripts. That rather sort of explains things, and of course largely you can get away with it if he only needs anti-tank grenades sort of delay further, and still no doctor, but really 7 squads of conscripts. And note how Siberian's having trouble keeping a track of this, even with the MGs, Grenadiers and their MGs. More Molotovs, roaring around. Just lots of Molotovs, lots of fire, lots of death. Although certainly Ccarts troops are also bleeding quite a bit. And there we go, another Grenadier squad. Looks like Heinz made it out of there. Though cannot be set for Friedrich's squad if he's not careful.
We must defend this territory.
And one would certainly get the impression that Ccarts is saving up for something big now, because I think he's got plenty of fuel, plenty of manpower. He just needs the command points, and then in that case, again, using pretty much only conscripts, he could make some sort of, attempt at really heavy armor and basically just stomp down any attempt by Siberian. And currently, Siberian doesn't even have any armor because, again, he's barely had any fuel due to constant harassment from Ccarts, constantly moving out, taking points, forcing Siberian to spread out, and of course, in that regard, Siberian might have benefited from more designating part of the front line and then ignoring the rest. Grenadiers up here in the east though, looking none too well, already there to burst into flames, as if hit by the wrath of the Lord himself. Sandbag, a fortification attempt here by Ccarts, but sadly was driven off by a concerted counter-attack from German troops before that was possible. And there we go, just a huge wave. Just need to make sure I'm not losing track of it. He might get more conscripts. But there you go. A considerable force of infantry. So much infantry. I certainly can't accuse Ccarts of not having enough boots on the ground, that's for sure.
Contact with the enemy.
And setting up anti-tank mines as well. Well done. Cutting off the most vital routes as well. But assault going in there. Grenadiers doing what they can to hold back, but this is a huge advance, and the MG42 of the heavier kind is simply not close enough to the front. There we go. At the same time, there's plenty of chances of getting outflanked simply due to the sheer numbers. And there we go. Panzerkampfwagen 4 has arrived. The Panzers are here. And there we go, Combat Engineer Squad wiped out at the very exact moment that he sees it. Anti-tank grenades are on the way. Panzer IV slowly advances. Opens up on the conscripts. 5 squads. Almost at full, that means close to 30 men right here. Quite the force, that would definitely be platoon size, if not bigger. Mines going off here, maiming and killing grenadiers. Panzer IV playing cautiously, doesn't want to get too anti-grenaded, he doesn't know what else might come. And certainly Siberian knows he hasn't anything else, but that doesn't mean he wants his opponent to know that. More Molotovs, more machine gun fire, more men bursting into flames. Absolutely horrific. Veterans do for another conscript squad. Lots of manpower being floated here. He might want to consider spending it on something.
The enemy has taken our supply sector.
Conscripts under attack.
Points being secured. Siberian advancing. And we are in fact seeing he has gone for the shock motor doctrine, and he's clearly aiming at that ISU 152. And there, anti-tank grenade action goes off, but already 13 kills on the Panzerkampfwagen 4. And Grenadiers getting brutally beaten up by conscripts up north, as Siberian once more tries to restore the front line, or at least create one once more. Looks like Siberian's actually back to the light to mechanized company. He might be worrying about something. And of course, I mean, he could consider actually getting some Panzer Grenadiers. Considering all the conscripts right here, Panzer Grenadiers, a few scores of those could actually do a lot of damage as well. Another thing he could consider would be an Ostland Flak Panzer to just tear through the infantry that way as well. At least that would be a potential suggestion. Medic bunker up, that's definitely going to help. And of course, a machine gun upgrade for the Panzer IV could also benefit a bit. More Molotoving.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
Grenadiers bursting into flames. Oh, the horror.
Your orders, comrade. Combat engineers are standing by.
Under fire!
And there we go, Grenadiers flank collapses. The Panzer IV now to support his forces. Can Siberian turn the tide? We'll of course have to see. Of course, lots of conscripts still flowing about here from Ccarts. Lots and lots and lots and lots of conscripts. There we go, conscripts are running straight at the Panzer IV, going to go lob off another anti-tank grenade. But we also do see the machine gun upgrade. We're seeing a bunker going up here for Siberian, likely going to see if we can't knock down a part of the front. Make it harder for Ccarts to make an advance, to do some damage, all that. We're seeing Siberian, he's actually being a bit paranoid here. He's not quite sure what to expect because he's just seeing so many conscripts, but he's seeing nothing else. So he's getting a pack just in case. So again, part of lock down the front, free up troops for elsewhere, but it's a bit clear, you know, he's not quite sure what's going on. He's not quite sure what to expect. He just knows he's facing off against a lot of conscripts. There we go, rifle grenade, does a lot of damage but doesn't actually kill anyone. Panzer IV on the other hand continues to tear into the Soviet force. Breakthrough here on the right flank, there's very little from Siberian to actually counteract this and stop it.
Shoot back, comrade! We need to re-establish our supply lines. Structure complete. We are taking losses!
Conscript squad here, very close to death. In fact, Ccarts might want to consider, you know, getting them out of.
Fire incoming!
But otherwise, I mean, Ccarts is definitely not playing as you usually do, in particular again with floating all of these resources. Again, it's clear what he wants to do, and it's quite clear again he's actually getting quite successfully with it, simply because of the sheer amount of infantry he has and how he manages it. And he's getting off because again he's actually veteran enough to know what to do, but still it is quite something else to see all of these conscripts.
Leading, comrade!
Flamethrower, we are losing territory.
Ready fire!
And there we go, machine gun bunker covering one part, making it harder for Ccarts to actually maneuver about with all of his infantry. Panzer IV rushing to contain the situation as it evolves. Conscripts running straight into the fire, and I literally mean the fire, not the enemy gunfire.
We are ready to go, comrade! How can we help?
Telemines up from Siberian.
We have it!
Again, he's clearly worried, but he's not entirely sure what he's supposed to be worried about.
Comrade!
what it is that is the impending threat.
Enemy has cut off a sector.
And there we go, conscripts on the run, and we're getting ever closer to the ISU-152s. And in fact, he's almost at the stage where he can just call in 2 of them, that is 2 heavy assault guns. Which is definitely going to be a bit nightmarish for Siberian. In fact, let's pop back to him. Getting a second Panzer IV. Let's actually stop up for the mid-game analysis. Current situation is that Siberian is finally back on foot after having been overwhelmed by hordes of conscripts. His Panzer IV, his bunkers and all that is slowly stabilising the front. He might want to consider upgrading additional grenadier escorts with light machine guns to help with all the conscripts, basically keep things a bit more secure until reinforcements can arrive. And of course, getting more tanks is definitely going to help. Of course, he doesn't quite know what's going to hit him, and that's likely going to be several ISU-152s, but getting more Panzer IVs would definitely be a start in the right direction in dealing with that. And a single Ostman perhaps to help do a bit extra against the infantry, but about that, I mean, there you go. For the Ccarts, I know he wants to get a few ISU-152s, which is great, but he needs something extra to support this. Either needs to consider getting some field guns to help provide volume of fire against the Panzer IVs or something, but he can't just rely solely on conscripts and combat engineers. I would say he needs something a bit extra, perhaps going for some tanks to help keep things a bit clear in terms of flanks. But let us return to the fight. Again, this is a rather irregular match in many regards, but Ccarts is definitely now struggling a lot more, and again in that regard getting something extra to help break through at stages would certainly help him. Snipers would also be good. Mortars. There we go, second Panzerkampfwagen 4 rolling out. Already a veteran C3 Grenadier squad up there for Siberian, and then also immediately a Molotov on their faces. We're still retaining 4 squads of Grenadiers. Can't be that far off from the ISU-152s. Fighting continues to flare up all across the front line. Another machine gun bunker up there again. Siberian is trying to basically cut down the front, and what he's basically trying to do more specifically is actually to eliminate the amount of maneuvering that Ccarts can do, and to do so the cheapest way, which is for the least amount of manpower and a bit of munitions. There we go. First ISU-152 heavy assault gun has arrived. Pioneers in trouble, Grenadiers in trouble. Lots of Molotovs getting locked through windows. And the ISU-152 rumbles forward, and there we go. Fires first shot, immediately wipes out 2 machine gunners. But the team is still there. But we also immediately see that Siberian takes precautionary measures, and there we go. Direct hit on the Panzer IV, almost down to half health. And shot missed. Combat is actually managing to flank the MG42. Can the Panzer IV dispatch them with haste before it's too late? Also no doctrines though from Siberian, which is quite interesting. But there we go, the MG42 did get cleared out. ISU-152 raking up more kills. Another kill. Panzer IV could get a hit with an anti-tank grenade. No, they actually retreat. It's a bit close there. He could have risked having his tank hit with an anti-tank grenade, which could have been a very bad news considering there's an ISU-152 on the field. Another high explosive round blow up the nearby surroundings, but this time not quite catching anyone in the explosion. More infantry being poured out here for the 374th Rifle Division. as the heavy assault gun seeks out more targets.
You have orders?
And the pack rolling back too. Another miss. And nope, Siberian's actually pulling back his Panzer Force. He knows he can't quite engage this as easily as he wants to. But there you go. Third Panzerkampfwagen IV arriving. Also note he's actually keeping plenty of conscripts close to his heavy assault gun, which is definitely also how you want to operate it.
Enemy contact! Hold them! MG-42 turret is ready. Enemy forces are securing our territory.
West flank though is collapsing. And we actually seeing Jaeger armor. Interesting choice. ISU 152 fires again. Forces away the Panzer IV. And another hit from the ISU 152. Nasty stuff, nasty stuff. Situation is definitely getting dangerous. Veterans free conscripts, and there we go, almost wiped out. Conscripts, be careful, CCRs. They are veterans free, and there we go, wiped out. CCRs wasn't paying attention, he was probably calling it a second ISU 152, a second heavy assault gun. That is quite the collection of heavy armor on the field right there. That is definitely in the bad news category of things. As the combat engineer's flamethrower tank bursts into flames, Panzer Force getting hit with engine damage. ISU 152 close, they're wiping out the Grenadier squad right there. Siberian needs to retreat them. Rückzug. And the Panzer IV backing straight into the line of fire of the two ISU 152s. That bad news right there. Come on, retreat the Grenadier, Siberian. Molotov, no. And the Grenadier squad wiped up. Veterans free for the conscripts and an LMG left behind. Oh, that's bad news. Though probably nowhere near as bad news as again the two heavy assault guns. Panzer IVs are forced to retreat. And there we go, Grenadier squad lost in the blink of an eye. Those heavy assault guns are devastating, got quite the AoE, got quite the damage. Oh, and the pack got absolutely wiped out. Careful, Siberian, get your Grenadiers out of there before it's too late. And there we go, Grenadier squad almost dead.
Squad under attack!
This is definitely terrible. There we go, another hit. And the Herman Goering Panzer Division Truppen are taking heavy casualties. All of a sudden, squads are getting wiped out, lost, murdered, blown to bits.
Our drive train is damaged. We've slowed our standing by.
The only thing that's really left are the Panzer IV to really take up the fight against the two heavy assault guns. Looks like the bunker's the next target. And immediately stopped here by the machine gun bunker and the Panzer IV, but there we go, ISU 152 fires, kills the Pioneer squad, repairing it. Gaining veterans one for the ISU 152 as well. And now the bunker is next. This is definitely in the Not so good news category, at least for the Germans. Siberian, or Ccarts is not at least having it fully his way. Partly due to the fact he can't just rush in. The heavy assault guns, needs to be a bit careful with them, otherwise they could easily get wiped out by the Panzer IVs if he's not careful. So in that sense the Panzer IVs do present a threat. But at the same time, if they caught at the wrong time, the wrong spots, so they're going to get wiped out by the two heavy assault guns and the sheer amount of firepower they can bring in. And they were known as the Beast Killers for a reason. Due to the sheer high explosive force, they could knock off the turret of tanks, as an example. Or for that matter, just kill the crew through spalling due to the sheer force. Fourth Panzer IV on the way though. Could that provide Siberian with what he needs? And back here again we do see the two very heavy assault guns. He's got plenty of resources again, although again he's short one conscript squad. He could consider getting something like the support weapon company and getting some field guns up to provide a bit of covering fire, as the flanks of the RC-152s are definitely going to be exposed. Panzer IVs advance up the west flank. Siberian Ccarts continues to do a bit at the back foot here. The lack of something to support the conscripts in the face of more dedicated armour until it was too late rather has allowed Siberian to hold on to things, although it is rather tenuously at the moment. A few hits and it can all go down the toilet. And another Grenadier squad lost. The sheer firepower on these things is devastating. Quite wretched. There we go, a bunker has collapsed and there is nothing left. Not even the bratwurst.
Conscripts here.
And there we go, Panzer IV narrowly avoids ISU-152 death. And looks like he's going in. Oh wait, no mind. Conscripts providing a threat again to the anti-tank grenades, but there we go, Panzer IV's getting spotted by the ISU-152. Getting closer to Veteran 2. If it hits that, it's definitely going to be a huge problem, as it's not just going to do almost twice as much damage, it's also going to take less damage from enemy fire as well. Which is in the category of things you really don't want happening. Panzer IV rushes straight at them. That was perhaps not a great idea right there, Siberian. But he pulls up. Oh, not quite. My apologies. And there you go, Panzer IV flanks apart. Well done, well done. And we're seeing Blitzkrieg. Blitzkrieg not just making it move faster, but also harder to hit. And there you go, ISU-152 flank. Panzer IV's going to move up here. They could get anti-tank grenaded if Ccarts paying attention. Veteran 2 for the Panzer IV. Armored skirts are up. Panzer IV lost at the same time. ISU-152 getting closer and closer to Veteran 2. More Panzer IVs rush in. And right here, some field guns or mines would have been nice for Ccarts. But it rather seems like he's intent on just securing a third ISU-152, which could prove to be his doom. And there we go, ISU-152's down, outmaneuvered by the Panzer IVs. Another one, Blitzkriegs. Another Veteran 1 Panzer IV, and looks like another Panzer IV has arrived. ISU-152's close to gaining Veteran 2, but it's simply too late now. And there we go, main gun destroyed. And there we go, ISU-152 is down, a combat loss. And the Herman Goering secures a victory for the Reich. Now then, what could be learned from this fight? I mean, we saw the power of conscripts, you know, a lot of conscripts by the way. You know, if you can handle them properly, you can actually do a lot of damage to your opponent. Seize the map, make it hard for him to get back, and basically make it hard for him to do a lot. I mean, Siberian had a lot of trouble, you know, getting more tanks for a larger part of the map. It was only when he really had most of the map that he succeeded in gaining any decent quantity. Plus the fuel cache here probably helped a bit. But of course, we also saw what the flaws of all of this were. I mean, when the tanks finally began hitting, he could contain the first one, but as more came, it became harder and harder for these yachts because he had nothing else but anti-tank grenades to hold it back, and that ultimately allowed Siberian, when he got enough tanks, to basically break through. And of course, that's the problem. That's probably where Ccarts should have bidden in things and bit, you know, gun at least one field gun up, perhaps two, and held things up that way, or at least one to gun those two ISU-152s, gun some field guns up, gun something up to support them, because the thing was, as soon as they got outmaneuvered, they were pretty much rubbish. You should have had some field guns covering those exact flanks, making it harder for Siberian to basically just outmaneuver them and wipe them out. Either that or a lot more mines, and those weren't really in the near vicinity of where the two heavy assault guns were operating, which of course is a shame. But ultimately, of course, it also shows what a few pair of well-handled tanks can do against such otherwise armoured behemoths like the ISU-152 if you handled things well. But certainly it was close, and had he just, you know, gone for a much more straight-on assault, it might certainly have gone a lot less well. But there you go, show, you know, the power of conscripts, and also, you know, the power of not supporting your conscripts for anything until it's too late. Again, you know, a few field guns never hurt. In particular, if they're well positioned, they can cover your flanks quite nicely. So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, why not subscribe, tell your friends. If you did, well, why not send a review and provide some feedback in the comments. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.